tell you what, you know a deer is huge when you're watching him in sumac and you can just see his antlers. Oh my goodness, that is a huge buck right there. Well guys, we're set up on this soybean field right here. Dan and I came in here to get cedars last night, and as we were driving out, we saw about 7 bucks. Bachelor group of bucks, about 7 bucks in the soybean field right here. So I decided to sit in this kind of prairie field right here and just kind of survey this field. We pulled up tonight, and there was already a doe feeding out in the beans at let's see, at about 5:30. She was feeding out the beans, and so we had a full moon last night, which I'll touch on that in a little bit, what full moons do and all that good stuff. But no, we're just sitting here. They were out feeding last night about 8 o'clock, 7:38, and so we're just gonna sit here. We got a really good northwest wind coming through, slight breeze. Humidity is about 56. Yesterday was about 95, so we've gone down about 40% in humidity. And so we shouldn't see a lot of deer movement tonight. It's about 84 degrees, which last night it was about 84 degrees. And hopefully we can see these bucks. There's one target buck that I'm looking for. His name is Teardrop. We saw him a bunch last year as a 3.5-year-old, and I actually saw him twice during turkey season. So so that's the buck we're after now. I don't know if he's gonna be summering on this location. He has been summering. Last year he spent the bulk of the summer months about 3 miles from here, 3 miles north of here. And so and then he moved over about September, October, right during that velvet season. Shedding of the velvet is when he moved over. And so so we're looking for that buck tonight. Hopefully he'll come out, and if we see him, that'd be great. But last night when we pulled up here, there were 2 nice bucks here, so hopefully he's with them, and that's why we're setting up, because we want to survey this bachelor group and see what bucks are here, see if we have any bucks in this herd from last year. So stick with us. I think tonight's gonna be a great night. We've already seen 3 deer, 2 does, and a fawn, so I think this night's gonna be good. We'll see what comes out and enters this field, but be sure to stay tuned with us, and if we see Teardrop tonight, that's gonna add to the Teardrop story, and that's gonna make this night awesome. So we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe.
Buck right there. That's not Teardrop though. But it's really good to see the 645 bucks on his feet. We've seen 5 deer so far right now. We've seen 5 deer. Pretty cool. That's a really pretty buck. I'd take him during late modest. He might push it then.
I tell you what, you know a deer is huge when you're watching him in sumac. Man, he is a really, really, really good buck. That sucker is huge. Man, he is a really, really, really good buck. Uh-oh. That sucker is huge. Man, he is a really, really, really good buck. Get him on that dogwood bush. Oh my goodness, he is a giant. Look at that. Oh my goodness, he is a stud. Hey, his two beams almost touch there. I wanted to tell you is we've had a northwest wind. The wind has just died down to about maybe 2 miles an hour. It was breezy earlier, and I can still feel a little bit of the faint wind. But you guys might be thinking, well, that deer, if he comes across, he's gonna be cutting wind like he'll be able to smell everything up above him on the terraces. What he's actually doing is two things that buck's doing. One, he's walking up that swell. He's walking up that swell. I think I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, he's walking up that swell. He's using that topography to his advantage. He's staying in the sumac. He's using the topography to his advantage to hide him. And also, he's walking with the wind in his face. He's coming kind of at an angle. So what he's doing is he's walking with the wind in his face. Okay? So anything in front of him, he can smell. That's one thing I want to point out to you. Is mature bucks walk with the wind in their face. 9 times out of 10 they do it. And another thing is, everybody's like, oh, the deer in the woods, deer in the woods, deer in the woods. Well, we're kind of in a little bit of prairie region, a little bit. A lot of these bucks, and it totally ticks me off when deer hunters say this. It really gets to me when they say this. But one thing I wanted to point out is whenever people cut trees, they're always like, oh, they're cutting trees, they're wrecking the deer habitat. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. What works for quail works for deer, and what works for deer works for quail, okay? Meaning grass, 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 grass. Especially your big blue stem, your Indian grass, your little blue stem, stuff like that. Because a buck can just bed right down in there, and you'll never see him. I had a doe 4 years ago bed down in brome grass, and I walked right up on her and never saw her. And I was like probably 30 yards from her. Deer love bedding in tall native warm season grasses. Another thing I want to share with you is where those bucks are bedded was a sumac thicket. They're 100 yards off of a food source. So a mature buck in a warm season grass is gonna bed about no more than 160, 150 yards from a food source. And it's right there. So that's why we're seeing so many deer tonight. Is because there's because we have a food source and we got great bedding area right there. So you got a lot of different land features here and all that. So just just want to share this. Oh yeah, he's definitely a 2-year-old. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely a 2-year-old. Yep. 100% he's a 2-year-old. Yep. It's kinda nice when you get him. Kinda nice when you get him on the edge of the... He's not bad. He's tall, is what he is. Pretty cool. And they both came out of that corn up there. I'm thinking in a little bit this field's gonna literally fill up. Question is, where are these other bucks gonna come? Are they gonna come out of the grass or are they gonna come out of the corn? Ooh. Buck's kind of being a jerk. 1.5-year-old buck off.